Welcome, everyone, to a brand new segment here at Cool FM Live that we're calling the Cool FM Creator Spotlight with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group, Sierra Vista, and Cochise County, backed by Morse. Our guest today is someone who is not unfamiliar to this side of the camera, but spends more time on the other side of the camera as a young filmmaker. Everyone make some noise for my friend, Evan Escue. Evan, what's going on, man? It's good to see you.
I'm good.
Man, it's great to see you. Talk about before we get into all the cool stuff that you have going on, I want to hear about your filmmaking experience. Like, how did you get into this venue?
Well, about 4 years ago, we moved here to Sierra Vista, and before we moved here, I was like, I have to. Well, before that, I was getting into film. I took a class at the New York Film Academy over the summer, and before we moved here, I was like, I have to make a Western because it's Arizona, it's a desert, whatever. So we moved here. I got my uncle. I got person behind who's about to come on, and we just shot that, and it's just kind of taken off from there.
First of all, how old are you? For people who are wondering,
I'm 18.
18 years old. And so when did this adventure start? I mean, how old were you when you picked up a camera for the first time and saw through it and started editing?
Well, I mean, it goes even farther than that. I've been making little, videos since I was like 7 years old. But again, like 4 years ago, I'd say, like, coming out of middle school, I was really starting to take it seriously, and I kind of like locked in, and it really kind of just again took off from there.
Have you always had that creative mind where it's a filmmaker, writer, producer kind of thing, or is there one aspect of those that you enjoy more than the other as you've grown up? As you're 18, but I mean, you got a long way to go in this journey. But being able to kind of be an all-in-one, one-stop shop for writing, directing, producing, is that a challenge, or do you see it as being fun? And is there one aspect that you're like, man, this one I probably need to do a little bit more work on because it's not as fun?
Well, I've been artistic for all of my life. I started out drawing and creating characters, and this filmmaking thing is actually kind of recent in a way. But yeah, I do actually think it's pretty fun to do all that stuff. I like to write, I like to direct, I like to help others, do their projects, which is, I guess, producing.
And collaborating.
Right. Yeah. And that's another thing that I really wanted to lean into recently, was collaborating with other artists in the area.
Have you found that Sierra Vista and Cochise County has that artistic community, that really talented folks?
I think it does. I've been saying this for a while. I think there is a untapped community of filmmakers here, that nobody is really noticing, and that's why I think Todd, which is Cool FM, has gave me the job of running Cool FM Films, is to really showcase those artists and show that's not just me, or not just the other prominent photographers and videographers in this town that do what we do.
Let's talk about Cool FM Films for a minute. As you were approached to do something like this on the Cool FM Live platform, what were your thoughts? What kind of things were you thinking of? Oh my gosh, this is an area that we could really dig deep on.
Well, at first, when I was doing The Path You Choose that premiered a few months ago on Cool FM, I asked Todd, what if I put in like a Cool FM Films production in the beginning of the short film? And he was like, "Yeah, I like that. How about you just run the entire like division, for lack of a better terms?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah." Like obviously I was kind of it was kind of daunting, but I think we've really brought it to something important.
Talk to me about the power of short film. That's what you specialize in. We'll talk about the Buena documentary because that's something that's long. I mean, obviously you've done long and short form, but short form is that something you're more comfortable doing? The 5 to 8 minute or 8 to 11 minute type of range?
Well, I do eventually want to get into feature films, but I think it's a cool thing where you can manage to compact a compelling story in like 5 to 8 minutes, which I think I've accomplished in some cases.
And to be able to do something like that, obviously the story needs to be tight. Everything has to, you have to understand the world that you're jumping into as a viewer. You have to see, you have to feel things right away. How do you engage people in that way through the creative process?
Well, it visuals and the writing certainly has a part in it. You have to write in a certain way that kind of wraps up the story in that short amount of time. And also the actors, they have to, you know, portray what the story is really asking for.
Now, one of those actors is here. We'll bring him on in just a second. Talk to us about the whole time pill concept.
Um,
Which is, by the way, if you haven't seen them yet, you have your YouTube channel.
I do.
By the way, so you tell everybody what your YouTube channel is.
It's just Evan Escue.
So yeah, and that's easy to find, and I'm sure we'll put it in the post description so you can find it as well. You had this concept, time pill. How did this concept come about?
Well, it actually started out as not what it turned out to be. It was, just a basic time travel concept, really, and it was supposed to go, back to like the old, the Wild West. And then I thought about my mom, um, and this is public information. I'm not just out of telling her private stuff. She struggled with drugs. She struggled with prescription drugs. So then I was like, how can I tie this in um, to where it resonates with people in a positive way and can really bring attention to drug abuse, and that's really where the whole time pill concept came about. And there's a lot of metaphors and the underlying theme of the time pill series, not just the first but the second, is drug abuse and the consequences of it and the struggles of it.
Do you find that being able to be a creator is a chance to not just entertain, but it's also a platform? It's a platform to give a message. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely, I love that's really my main goal in a lot of these films, is to convey a message, whether it be drug abuse, whether it be depression with The Color Gray, which was premiered on Cool FM. I always try to convey a message in a lot of them to really resonate with people and to try and help them in any way.
It's a powerful platform to be able to use. I heard a quote one time. It was attributed to James Cameron, the Titanic director, Avatar director, and creator. He said, "Films are never finished; they're only abandoned." As a filmmaker, does that resonate with you, that quote, or do you get to the point where you can say it's finished, or is there still tweaks that you could make, but you just have to abandon it at a certain point?
Absolutely. I think that is true. Because there's always things I wish I changed about a film, or that I wish I added to a film. But at the end of the day, it's when you just got to be kind of done with it after a certain point.
Really, it's got to just be abandoned
Right.
because you could work on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that every major filmmaker out there has that same philosophy. If James Cameron was the one who said that, one of the greatest filmmakers of our generation, from Terminator all the way up to Avatar, I assume that he knows what he's talking about. Why don't we bring on one of the stars of Time Pill? Why don't we do that? So we have a very special guest who's going to be joining us and having a seat right over here. Cleve, get on over here. Get on over here, man. It's great to see you.
Hey, good to see you
Oh,
too.
man, hand off that microphone to this gentleman right here. Now, Cleve, you've had the honor of working with Evan a couple of times now.
Yeah, just a few.
for quite some time, actually.
Yeah.
Now, not only are you the star of the Time Pill series, but you're also a stepdad, which is
Yes.
really kind of cool.
It is.
What's it like watching the development of your son here, being able to see him grow in this creative outlet and watching it happen right in front of your very eyes, literally as you are in front of the camera and he's behind it?
It's really it's been an experience. I have to say, you know, he started, as he mentioned, he started this right around the time. Well, he started this iteration of it right around the time that we moved here, and you know, his mom and I were kind of concerned that moving from New York here to Arizona, in a small town in Arizona, that he was going to feel, you know, out of sorts and stuff. And so she thought, well, you know, maybe if he gets into photography and, you know, some kind of stuff like that, that'll help him, you know, bridge this gap. We wanted him to make a good transition here. And he's just, to see what he's done with it, I think it accomplished the goal that his mom and I had of, you know, giving him an outlet, a positive outlet while he was here. But he's taken it to a whole other level. And, you know, to see it actually become the trajectory of his life it's incredible. It's so rewarding. We're so proud of him. And it's been an honor for me to be able to be in these projects.
Let's talk about you being a part of these projects. Now, did you have to try out for them, or were you, or was it like, hey, Cleve, Dad, I need some help, man? Or how did that process work?
Well, I think in the beginning, you know, he's what his mom and I call a serial filmmaker. I mean, he's barely done with one project and his mind is already on to the next one and the next one. He's just like, you know, constantly creating. And so I think in the beginning, it was like he had this idea and this concept, and he just, like any creative person, he needed to get it out. And, you know, not knowing a whole lot of people when we first moved here is like, well, who we got? We got family. So let's get Uncle Matt, let's get Uncle Mike, let's get Dad, let's get everybody in on this. I will say, as his films have gone on and he's progressed and matured, he's gotten a lot more choosy, and you know, well deserved. I think at this point, if I don't fit the character, it's not just well, Cleve's just going to be in this movie because it's the next one. No, I have to actually fit the character now, which, you know, I'm proud of. He's gone out there. He's doing casting calls now. He's doing, you know, he's really expanding his craft. And,
Talk about your. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to hear about what's your creative background. You know, from New York and being in that. In that area, did you work in the arts as well, or did you have dreams or ideals to be in the arts?
Well, I'm a musician. You know, I play the piano and percussion, and I sing. And when I was Evan's age, I wanted that to be the trajectory of my life. My dad was like, "No way, no how. You're going to school for business, and that's it." So, but I was in musical theater and did a lot of that stuff in school, which is where I get the minimal amount of, you know, acting skill that I have was from, you know, doing theater in school. I think that, you know, being able to do these projects with Evan is really, you know, I love it because it kind of wakes up, stirs up that, you know, that experience that I've had in the past and allows me to have my own artistic expression as well, because I don't get too many opportunities to do that anymore, at this age.
Well, it's amazing to see the teamwork, watching it happen, and again from behind the camera, seeing your dad be able to do this. Did you have all the confidence in it? I'll let you go back and brag about him a little bit, because when you take this concept to him, the whole time pill concept, do you have to explain it to him, or just give him the script and let him interpret it, and then you have some table reads, or how does that work? And do table reads take place over dinner, right there at the house?
In some cases, it did. I had to explain it to him at first, because time travel films are always some kind of complicated, right? So I did have to explain it to him first, but I really like to hand it off to the talent and interpret it, have them interpret it the way they see it. So like with the second one, I asked Scott Hamilton and Nikki Wolfe, that like make, it's called a ghost, write out a backstory for these characters, no matter how big or how small, right? And that it kind of just, it's they feel involved in it, and they have some kind of context behind who they're playing, even if those doctors were in on screen for like 2 minutes. I always like to really hand it off to the talent.
Editing, I think, is one of the biggest things. Let's talk about how there's a whole, I guess, documentary on how Star Wars, the original Star Wars in 1977, was saved in the editing room. Editing is a skill. And what is your view when editing, when you're in your film bay and you have all the scenes and you're putting it together? Is it about keeping things, short films, you only have a certain amount of time. It's all about pacing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't really like editing.
Okay.
But it's kind of what I have to do. So I feel like I've so far I've allowed myself to learn how to edit and how to work with audio and stuff like that. And you're right, it's definitely about the pacing for these short films, because again, you only have 5 to 10 minutes to tell the story. So yeah, editing has a big part of it.
I'd like to ask Cleve another question, talking about how you've seen him grow. Just in these last couple of years, it's probably been exponential, right? As far as his talent, his timing, his patience behind the camera. What are some strengths that you see in him right now? And use that microphone.
Thanks. My brain is a little stuck on the last question that you just asked, and I'll answer this one.
Please.
I've watched him grow in a tremendous number of ways. I mean, like he said, he started off being a visual artist with drawing and painting, and and I should say, even back then, he was making little stop animation films with little clay characters. He'd set it up, take a picture of it, and then do the next thing and move it. When he was really young. Watching him evolve as a filmmaker has been really extraordinary. What he just mentioned about having the other characters create a ghost for their character, we never discussed that in the early films. It was like, okay, here's the script, and let's just do it. But as he is learning his craft and learning more about the directing, he is able to pull so much more out of the characters from his directing, because he's growing and he's really leaning into the whole of filmmaking, because he does the writing, and he'll do rewrites and rewrites. He just handed us I guess the third rewrite of his latest one that's coming out, and then he's shooting, he's lighting, he's doing sound and costumes, he's doing editing. So he's really immersed himself into the entire filmmaking process. And then, like I said, he doesn't like editing, but his latest films, that to me
It's
is
so
the thing
tight.
that
It's
grabbed
so tight.
us.
Yeah.
You know, I joke around with him because the first time Pill movie I thought was one of his best. He's like, but what he did with effects and you know, playing me against me, a younger version of myself against a newer. When I first looked at the film, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, when you hear about this concept, time pill, and you just read it, what are your initial thoughts?
I kept wondering, how are we going to do this? How am I, are you going to like film me the whole way through and then go and do me? And, and it was a little crazy the way, the way we actually shot that film. And then I couldn't wait to see how it was all. I was like, how is he going to do this? How are you going to do this? And he doesn't let me see the films until they're done.
Okay.
And it drives me crazy because, like, let me go back and see that. Can I take
Stop
that shot over again?
Man. Come on.
He's like, no, 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 no. So just watching the whole process. But I have to say, lately, I mean, especially with this latest film he's working on now, all I've done was just read the script. And he and his mom and I mean, it brought tears to her eyes, and it really got me. His story writing, his stories have just gone to the next level. And it's so funny because I remember telling him some time ago, I was like, Ev, it's all about the story. The story has to engage the person, or I don't care about the camera effects, the lighting, all the rest of it. If the story stinks, nobody's going to watch it. I said, but if the story's good, you've got a winner. And I think this next one is like, gets you right here.
Man, well, we can't wait to see it. From the short film side, I want to talk to you about the documentary side. What you did was you ended up following, before we wrap this thing up, by the way, of course, you're watching Cool FM Creator Spotlight with Evan Escue, his stepdad, Cleve, Jeff Davenport, brought to you by the Ed Morse Automotive Group, Sierra Vista, Cochise County, backed by Morse. So documentary filmmaking is something that I love. I love the process. I love the emotion. I love what's there. And you were able to take an event here in Sierra Vista and do a documentary on it. How did that all come about?
Well, Todd again. I do credit him for a lot of the jobs that I've done recently. He messaged me and he was like, "Hey, this guy Jai, he's working on this Christian music festival, and he wants you to possibly do a documentary for it." And I was like, "Okay, you know." So, I mean, that was a saga within itself. That whole experience at Rise and meeting those incredible artists was a once in a lifetime thing. But
And the MC wasn't too bad either.
right. But I will say it was actually kind of hard putting together that documentary. It was a little challenging.
Did you have to do storyboards for it? Like when you, before you even, because this is a 1 day thing. This is one shot. Yeah. You don't have multiple takes. You don't have like a season like the other guys did with the basketball documentary for Buena. It's 1 day.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that 1 day.
Yep.
How on earth do you plan that out ahead of time?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I winged it.
Okay.
I didn't do a storyboard. The only thing I really thought of was like, okay, just get action shots of the singers doing their thing, action shots of the audiences, enjoying their time. So I kind of winged it, and after, by the grace of God, I got the footage that I got. But by the end of it, it really turned into something special. Especially, it was the last thing that Joe Nestor did before he passed away. So that is another. It just tops that. It's like I got footage of the last thing that he ever did, which he was an incredible artist. And it turned out, everybody really liked the documentary, and a lot of the founders of the festival messaged me, and they're like, Evan, you did an awesome job. You really gave it justice. So yeah, documentary filmmaking it's definitely a different thing than normal filmmaking. I'd say it's more difficult, in because it's all not scripted. You know, it's uh, in the moment type of stuff. So you always have to be there and be ready to capture whatever is going to happen.
So from short film to documentary, and before we started rolling this camera here, you talked about something coming up in Globe, an actual movie set on a set for a feature-length film. Is that what you're going to be working on? Let's just leave a little preview of that, and then we'll wrap this thing up, man.
Well,
and what's going to be your role as far as this goes?
Yeah. Well, it's really a pleasure to go on a set for the first time, a real actual feature film movie set. I'm gonna be a PA, you know, just doing whatever they want me to do. And I'm incredibly blessed to be a part of that.
And they'll be filming for how long will the production schedule run for this?
Well, I don't really know, but he wants me there about 4 days in a week. So I'll just be doing whatever he wants me to do.
That's awesome. What an exciting time. And the future of Cool FM Films, where do you see this thing going?
Well, I really just hope that a lot of people find the courage to do what they want to do with film and video and photography, because a lot of people have potential. They do, and they either don't want to do anything with it, or they just don't believe in themselves. But I just hope that Cool FM Films will be a outlet for these people to say, hey, this person did it. Let me message them and have my project put on there. So I just really hope that, because it's not about me, it's about the countless kids and young adults that have that dream and want to show off their work, and I just hope that they will see it as an outlet to express themselves and just put their stuff out there.
Well, creators get that vibe off of other creators, like from musicians to filmmakers to hosts and MCs. There is that energy there that is unique to the creator and the creative. Mm-hmm. And having this time with you today, man, has just been a real huge joy for me. And to see these short films that he's made, you gotta go check him out on YouTube. Evan Escue, look for him on YouTube. We'll have that link in the post description. And maybe somebody's watching this out here and they're going, I kind of want to try acting in a short film. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can always email or message Cool FM Films, because I run that. I head that. But message me on social media. Just look up Evan Escue and message me.
What other projects are you working on right now? How many things are in the pipeline? Let's put it that way.
A couple of things, but
you don't want to talk about it. I understand. I get it. I get it. But this is the exciting part of what's going on here at Cool FM, an amazing arm of this crazy thing called Cool FM Live is Cool FM Films. Evan Escue is the one who heads it up. Cleve, thanks for coming in and talking about your son here. What an amazing journey that he's been on, and absolutely awesome to see this. If you are a creator, I know you loved this interview, and I know that you probably want to be involved in Cool FM Films somehow. Make sure you reach out to Evan. Find all the details in the post description. Thank you so much for watching this inaugural episode of Cool FM Creator Spotlight with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by our good friends at the Ed Morse Automotive Group, Sierra Vista and Cochise County, backed by Morse. Stay tuned to Cool FM Films on Facebook, on Instagram, on or anywhere else. and any other socials? YouTube, and of course on YouTube. Check them all out there. Links will be in the post description. Evan, thank you so much, man. Absolute pleasure. This has been a long time in the making for me to sit down with you and do this. So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. And we wish you all the best. And stay tuned to Cool FM Live. Stay tuned to Cool FM Films to see all the amazing creators in our area coming together and producing some of the most touching, heartwarming, challenging, thought-provoking short films and beyond that you could ever imagine right here on Cool FM Live. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for sharing. Tag your friends and family who you think are into short films, are into acting. Maybe family, literally family of yours is into acting or could be into acting. Make sure you tag them. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody. We'll check in with you again later on. Great job, man. Great job.